Welcome to the Reddit Chronicles. Today we will be reading some wholesome stories that melts your heart. Our first post is by Bill Rowe, First Real Christmas. My daughters came to live with us in late November 2004 from a crappy foster care situation, and living in a van with their drug-addled prostitute biological mom before that. Things were still very new to them. They were still adjusting to their new home and were amazed at the simple things like eating, playing with toys that belonged to them, and having nice clothes to wear. When the Christmas tree went up, they didn't have any idea what it was. They thought it was pretty and enjoyed decorating it and looking at it, but other than that, no clue. When we talked about Santa, they were clueless about that as well. They couldn't believe such a thing was possible. They were 4 and 5 years old at this point and had never experienced a Christmas of any consequence. We took them to the nice mall for a visit to Santa. They asked, "Dad, that man really brings us presents?" Of course, I explained and told them the whole deal. I was really bothered by the fact that they came from a foster home and never got a single present, a tree, or any of the traditions associated with it. When we picked up the girls from the foster home, the foster mom didn't give us anything except a bag of men's tube socks. No toys, dolls, nothing. Gradually, stacks of presents gathered under the tree, and on Christmas Eve, we put out milk and cookies for Santa. They were very skeptical about the whole deal and were questioning the whole down the chimney thing and trying to find holes in my story. We were listening to Christmas music and reading stories, and they kept running to the front window. I thought they were looking for Santa. Finally, I said, "Santa won't come till later after you are asleep." The girls said, "No, Dad, we are looking for the policeman. They always come get us at Christmas." Sad. Anyway, when the girls went to sleep, I put on my big work boots, stomped them around in the fireplace, and left dirty boot prints on the white carpet leading to the cookies, took a bite, drank some milk, put out the Santa presents, and went to sleep. The next morning about 8 a.m., I heard a tremendous squealing and laughing. They dragged me downstairs to show me the footprints and the half-eaten cookie. He's real, he's real. They didn't care about the presents at all. They were caught up in the magic, and that was fine with me. Our next post is by Time Crack. I accidentally fell into a family with my best friend, and it's the best thing to ever happen to me. I do want to leave this anonymous because I know my now girlfriend, Lily, is on Reddit, and I don't know if she would see this. I had a very rough childhood growing up. I didn't have a dad, and my mom was never really there because she had a rough battle with health issues and got hooked on narcotics. I had friends growing up, but I had my best friend since I was 12. Her name is Lily. We have been extremely close due to our childhood issues, and we had always been there for each other. We had talks of being together, but got cold feet because we were scared if it didn't work, we couldn't recover from that. When I was 18, I didn't really want to go to college. School had never been for me, so I went into a trade. I work long hours, but it's been worth it, and I make solid money right now for my position. I'll come back to this in a bit. When we were 19, Lily got pregnant by her boyfriend. The dude somehow managed to avoid child support payments and broke up with her, and has not seen the kid once in his life. Complete deadbeat. Makes me disgusted. Lily was scared, but I told her I would be here when she needed. She didn't have parents that would help, but I told her I'd help where I can when the kid gets here. Lo and behold, she gave birth to a beautiful little girl named Kelsey. I was there when she was born, and it was a weird moment. I don't know to explain it, but I did feel happy for her. Now we're 21, and ever since then this little girl has had me wrapped around her finger. I've done my round of the diapers, bottles, middle of the night screaming, etc. Every day I get home from work we sit there, and we watch her little shows, and we spend a lot of time together as the three of us as well. When we walk, she grabs my pointer finger with her whole hand because it's so little. She stands up and kisses me on the cheek after I change her, and she loved her snuggles, where she just lays on top of me with her head laid up against my chest. As of recently, she has begun speaking. She has been calling me Daddy. I've been feeling really weird about it lately, feeling like it's not right and that someday she needs to know the truth. I talked to Lily about it one night and got her opinion of it. She sat there with a slight grin, and then she came up behind me and hugged me. She said, "You're the best dad she could ever ask for," and then proceeded to tell me, "We'll worry about talking to her when she understands." As far as she is concerned, you are her daddy, and you are to me as well." I turned around and hugged her. We had a long talk about what's been going on lately with us, as we have been engaging in not-so-just-friends activities, and she just said, "I like this, I like our family." I just kinda froze for a sec and asked her, "Is this what we want to do?" And she followed up by saying, "I think we've been doing this for a while now," and then laughed. We had a great moment and agreed to be a family. I had told her I needed to run to the drugstore for some diapers for Kelsey. On the way there, I bursted into tears. I cried for maybe a good 30 minutes. I don't even know how I'd describe what I was thinking and feeling, but I was happy. I just know that there isn't a thing in this world I wouldn't do for those two. It feels like I can relax and reflect on everything that's happened to this point, but also I don't. I basically have a family I'm looking out for. Like, no matter what happens, I have people who will depend on me, and something like that makes me want to be the best man I can. In about another year, I will have my official license for my trade, giving me a substantial pay raise and a new job that I already have lined up. I've already started looking at houses and rings. We've also talked about having our own once I get my license. I don't know where I'm going with this, but I wanted to share it with someone, but I don't really have those people in my life. Thanks for reading. Our next post is by Only One Throw. Today my boyfriend's son introduced me as his mom. My 40F boyfriend's 45M eldest son, we'll call him Pedro, 22, has been in a rehab center for drug addiction for almost 6 months now. Sunday is family's visit day at the center, so we went there today. Pedro is the eldest of 3 boys, all share the same mom, my boyfriend's ex. He lived with my boyfriend before this. A lot of stuff went down before he was admitted there. Pedro and his mom didn't have the best relationship, but they saw each other often. After a pretty bad argument with his dad, Pedro left my boyfriend's house, and we didn't know where he was for some time. The mom didn't want anything to do with him and said she didn't care. Pedro and I had a nice relationship. We talked a lot. He was always super sweet. He's a very, very sweet and caring young man. He jokingly used to call me my evil stepmom. When things got pretty bad, he asked to be admitted to the center. He had been there before but left after a month, and he tried to get in touch with his mom, but she wouldn't take his calls, so he reached out to me. His mom has never visited him or called him since he was admitted, not even once. Soon after he was admitted, his dad and I went to visit him and have been visiting ever since. He's doing much, much better, and we're so proud of his progress. Some time ago, he started calling me Ma. That's short for mama in Spanish, but I didn't pay too much attention to it because it's also a term of endearment that can be used with people who are not your mom. Well, today, when I arrived, he clearly called me Mama, and he also called me that several times throughout the day. And when he introduced us to some new kids and their families, he said, "And this is my mom." This is the first time this has happened. He used to introduce me as his dad's partner. I couldn't be happier. I felt absolutely elated he called me Mom. That's it. That's all I wanted to say. I have a son of my own. He's 19. I am a single mom and always wanted to have more kids but chose not to because I dealt with pretty bad postpartum depression, and the first few years were mentally and physically taxing on me. Now I feel like my dream is complete. Our next post is by Mutator. My husband and I survived another year. In July of 2021, my husband and I made the life-changing choice to quit drinking. He had been drinking since he was 6 years old. I am aware of how young that is, but his childhood was rough and with not good parents, and I had been on 4-year-long bender. I had fatty liver disease of the alcoholic kind, my kidneys were failing, and my husband was emaciated, severely dehydrated, and having frequent seizures ranging from 3 to 7 minutes. We both went through detox and several programs over the course of a year. We had to relearn how to do the most basic things like walk, eat, sleep on a schedule, and socialize. Our whole relationship changed, for the better. It was an intense year, but we came out the first year without a relapse, nor desire to. This year we faced our own set of challenges that yielded some amazing results. We both got jobs that cover our bills and allow us to save. We are finally looking at getting something better than a 1-bedroom apartment in the ghetto for us and our 8-year-old. We are halfway through paying off all the debts we incurred during lockdown. We are expecting, and it looks like this one will actually take, so far, I'm only 11 weeks. And in December we adopted an 8-month-old cat who turned out to be a beautiful addition to our home. 2 years ago, when I had my husband call 911 on me because I had 4.5 times the legal limit, and my heart was struggling to keep me alive, I thought I was going to die. I thought my life was over, and I would die in my bed before the paramedics rolled my butt onto a tarp and team lifted me into an ambulance. When I got out of detox, 22 days in total, and got to come home, I thought my husband would tell me to hit the bricks. I came home to a bouquet of flowers he had hand-picked on top of a well-made bed in a clean house. The embrace I received was a hug I'll always remember. We were shaking under our own weight as we clung onto one another, as it was hard to stand for long periods of time at that point. The house smelled of roasted chicken, as he had been making a full dinner for the first time in a year. This year I only had one expectation: do better than last year, and I did. I'm physically healthy and have been seeing doctors regularly. I got the job back that I lost due to my drinking. I worked on my anxiety so hard. I'm looking to get my license. My driving instructor was a predator when I was 17, so I didn't learn much. Today I made a lemon pound cake with a lemon glaze and hung out with my son while he played Minecraft. I took the day to do the things I never thought I'd do again when I was drinking. It's the little things. Anyways, thanks for reading if you made it through this post. If you have any questions about my journey, feel free to ask. I'm an open book. Once you get so drunk you shart yourself taking a shot in your kitchen and not noticing for 30 minutes because you're drunk, you have no shame. Here's to 2 years without booze. Thank you for listening to the Reddit Chronicles. Follow for more content.